So this is a video on, this is number 22 from homework 4. And I've had several people ask me about this one, and this is, I think, one of the more challenging questions on homework. So just going to run through it from start to finish, and I'll be happy to answer questions from this. And if there's some other concept that's specific to some trouble you've been having on the homework, please let me know through email. And you definitely can come in and meet. You can send me an email asking about a time to meet with me, but also I can create more videos specific to specific problems you're having. So anyway, here we go. So the question is, what is the percentage of puffin eggs that will hatch at 50 degrees? Round your answer to the nearest 0.1%. So now one of the difficulties with this question is that the question is actually producing decimal answers, which means you have to convert them from decimal form to percent form in order to plug into the answer, because the answer slot is looking for a percentage, not a decimal. So which means if you got an answer of 0.798, what you would enter is 779.8, because they're looking for a percentage. And this, of course, you don't need to write the percent symbol because it's already there. But that didn't come out very good. 0.798. So that might take care of some people's problems. But so how do we come up with this answer? So this says, what percentage of puffin eggs will hatch at 50 degrees? So 50 degrees is the x coordinate that or x value that I'm plugging in, and it's producing decimal form of the percentage of eggs that are hatch at that temperature. So what's happening as the temperature rises and falls, more and less percentage of the eggs actually hatch. So in this case, it's pretty straightforward. If we call this we'll call this function p of x. So that is p of x. So that means what we're really looking for is p of 50 here. So we just plug it in. So that would be negative 0.392 times 50. No, sorry. Yeah, 50 minus 46 squared plus 2.7 times, and notice that 50 minus 46 is really just 4. So I could have just put a 4 there, minus 3.73. And if you plug this into a calculator and calculate it, you should end up with approximately, I guess I should be way over there, 0.798. So that's the decimal form. So then in my answer, I would put the 79.8%. Of course, you don't write the percent. That's already there. You're just entering 79.8 into the answer box. Okay, now, part B, it says, for what mean temperature is the percent of hatched puffin eggs a maximum? So knowing that this is a parabola, and it's an upside down parabola because of the negative out front, we know that it looks like this. So it would produce a maximum. There's some maximum. So in other words, as the temperature rises, for a while, the percentage of eggs get better and better. But at a certain point, the temperature gets so cold that the hatch rate of the eggs slows down. So there's some point where it's the optimal temperature. So how do we find that? All we need to do is find the vertex of the parabola. Now, because this has got kind of a weird situation here, I'm going to rewrite this as negative 0.392 times, and I'm just going to put a u there. I don't need the parentheses anymore. So I'm replacing that x minus 46 with a u squared plus 2.7 u minus 3.773. So then I'm going to use I'm going to find the vertex of this parabola in terms of u. But keep in mind that u is equal to x minus 46, right? So how do I find the vertex of parabola? I could use completing the square method, or I could use this, x equals negative b over 2a. That's probably what I'm going to use because all the decimals and stuff. Would not be a fun completing the square project. So that would be negative 2.7 divided by 2a. So that would be negative so that would be negative 2.7 divided by negative 0.784. That's just 2 times that. And that would give me approximately 3.44. Yeah, 3.44. So that's the x-coordinate that produces the vertex, or the x-coordinate of the vertex, which that means that's the u value that gives me a maximum value in my parabola. But of course, remember that u is actually x minus 46. So then I'm going to go over here and say, okay, 3.44 is supposed to be equal to x minus 46. So then I just have to add 46 to that. And that gives me 49.44 equals x. I think it says round off to the nearest tenth. So actually the x value that I'm looking for, oops, I should have put u there. Sorry about that. The x value that I'm actually looking for is 49.4. Because in this case, x is the temperature, so that's the temperature that will produce the maximum percentage. So then in this third question, it says find the percentage of hatched eggs at this temperature. So anytime I have an x value and I want to find in this case, the y value, or I guess in this case, the p value, because I call it the p function, we just have to find out what p of 49.4 is. I said p in mode f. Sorry about that. P of, and of course that just means plugging 49.4 into the equation. Of course, when I plug 49.4, what I'm really doing is plugging in 3.4 because we have the x minus 46, right? So then I will have negative 0.392 times 3.4 squared plus 2.7 times 3.4 minus 3.73. And when I calculate that all out, I end up with 91.8. So 91.8% is the, well, actually, I don't end up with that. I end up with 0.918. Then I have to convert that to a percentage. That's a decimal equivalent, so I have to convert that to percentage. So the answer I put into the actual answer I put in would be 91.8%.